Okay, so while I'm out here trumping around the wilderness, I want to talk a little bit about they will follow you home. And I want to do this one of the little Sasquatch truth shorts, and so I want to do a little short here about they will follow you home if you seek them out, also known as the Hitchhiker Effect. And there's a book out that talks about that from Skinwalker Ranch from Dr. Kelleher and the other fellow that escapes my mind. I'll think of him in a minute. But basically what they found in their research of the supernatural and all the weird UFOs, electromagnetic stuff going on out at Skinwalker Ranch is that the phenomenon or the events, the stuff that happened, and some of the entities followed the researchers home. And as far away as Washington, D.C., you know, up north into Florida, no matter where they lived, it followed them home, and it also affected their children and their wives. Anything from orbs, UFOs, sound familiar? Weird beings, monster type beings like dogman type beings, and Sasquatch type beings showed up. So as someone who did research for 10 years, I found out through ignorance that, about the so-called Hitchhiker Effect, which we just called it, they'll follow you home. If you seek them out, they will follow you home. And it's just a matter of time. And if you're not seeking them out and you have an encounter, then I would say 90% of the time they won't do anything. They won't follow you home, but it's not 100%. I have had people that have had a chance encounter, and then after that chance encounter, they start showing up around them or at different places. Sometimes follow them home. And like I said, that's the exception, not the rule. And for most people, if you have an accidental, well, I call it accidental, but if you have an encounter with one and you weren't seeking them out and you were minding your own business, then most likely they're going to leave you alone. But if you're engaging in research or engaging in going out and trying to locate them, trying to find them, you're in here and in here seeking them out and purposely looking for them. You give them permission to seek you out, and they will. And some of these other events, I found it very interesting that they wrote a book. I'll put the link to the video in the comment section. And when I think of this guy's name, very famous UFO guy, bizarre guys. Yeah, I don't know why my mind's going blank, but it has. Oh, another deer scrape. Oh, it's two. Boy, the wind is whipping, and I'm having to basically scream at the camera. Die down. But what they found out in their Skinwalker Ranch and in their scientific studies, you know, they had a multi-million-dollar study. The Department of Defense and other agencies, Bigelow, NIDS, they investigated this place, and You know, like I said, they had the Hitchhiker Effect, or what we call, they will follow you home. I don't know any better word for it. And they had similar things happen. You know, that's the interesting thing about all this, is whether you're doing research on the Sasquatch, doing stuff with ghosts and spirits, paranormal stuff, or, you know, the scientific study of UFOs and these portals and stuff that we know the Department of Defense is working on. Any of that stuff, it's all supernatural. It's all spiritual, in my opinion. And that's why, regardless of, you know, all roads lead to one thing. And so whether you start off if you start off with Sasquatch, you encounter the other things. If you start off with ghosts, you encounter everything else. Like, you know, no matter where you start, we all end up in the same place with this Hitchhiker Effect and orbs and spirits and strange happenings and UFOs and portals and Sasquatch and Dogman and all these other crazy things start happening. So, trying to keep this a short, but bottom line is, they will follow you home. And my advice for years has been, don't go looking for them. Mind your own business and go enjoy your outdoors. Be aware they exist. You know, don't research them. Don't go looking for them. Because if you do, and you stay at it, more than likely, weird stuff's going to start happening around your home, and then you're going to start scratching your head and thinking you're crazy. Feathers are going to show up. Dead animals are going to be put on your back porch or front porch. Handprints are going to be left on the side of your house. A single pristine footprint is going to be left in your backyard. Dog food's going to go missing. Cats and other neighborhood animals will start disappearing. Something 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning is going to slap the side of your house so hard that it wakes you up and shakes the house. You're going to be minding your own business on your back porch in the evening, and you're going to hear strange moans and howls that don't match any wildlife in your area. Or even worse, you'll find handprints on your windows that are gigantic, or you'll see red eye glow or some sort of creature or something looking in at you. Or your children will scream, and they looked in the window and there was a man or a monster in the window. So I'm just laying it down for you, being truthful. That's what happens when they follow you home, when you have this Hitchhiker Effect. Or you'll see orbs, or you'll start seeing UFOs show up around your property, or you'll just notice them. You'll be out somewhere and you'll look up and you'll see a weird looking silver metallic thing in the air, and it's zigzagging and zipping around, and you know, your brain wants to try to make it something it's not, but you know what it is. So that's just a little bit of what happens. So ask you, beg of you, please don't start researching. And I know it's hard not to, but it's just, like I said, I found out the hard way. And it got really crazy around my house before I stopped and prayed it, rebuked them and stopped it. But that still doesn't mean that things don't happen outside of the about 100-yard bubble that's around the house. So, and sometimes your neighbors and other family members have things happen, and they don't have anything to do with it. So, as seriously as I can say it, please don't do any research as far as Sasquatch, ghost, Dogman, because you're going to open yourself up to a whole lot of stuff. It's not very pleasant, and it's not what you think it is. And a lot of people think, oh, this can't happen to me. And I'm here to tell you, an old southern redneck boy from Tennessee who had no clue what he was doing, really. Yeah, it can happen to you, and it will. And trust me, you just rather not have it happen. So that's my short for the day. What I'll do is I'll cut in still shots of different things that happen around my house. One of the things I'll cut in, which was really disturbing, is after I'd rebuked them and they couldn't come on the property line, like right at the edge of the road and my driveway. 2 weeks in a row, like on a weekend morning, I found a starling, and it looked like something had grabbed it and squeezed it and popped its guts out. And it was laying in the end of my driveway. But it was exactly in the center. And when I mean exactly, I mean exactly. I started to pick the first one up and throw it, I took pictures of it and thought it was odd. Kind of mostly suspected it could have been a message from the Sasquatch. And but I thought, that looks like it's right in the middle. So I went and got a measuring tape and I measured it, and it was exactly in the middle of my driveway. And so I probably maybe a couple weeks later went out, and again, another dead starling. It was something squeezed it and popped its guts out, and it was laying dead, and it was almost in the same location, and it too was exactly in the middle. That gave me the sign that it wasn't a coincidence and it wasn't happenstance. They put it there and they wanted me to find it. What the message was, I don't know. I mean, I can only guess. Probably they weren't very happy with the rebuking. And then I also found a feather. Before I rebuked them back during the research, when they first started coming to my house, they left blue jay feathers by my driver's side of my truck, regardless of where I parked it, for several days in a row, like for 7-8 days. And I wasn't smart enough then to take pictures, but I did get 5 or 6 of the feathers. But they were, subtle signs. One time when they couldn't get to the dog food on the back porch, they took dove feathers, and there was a crack in my driveway, and there's about 10 of them, and they set them up in that crack all the way across my driveway. And this was an overnight thing. This is like, come in that evening, of course the feathers aren't there, and go out the next morning, they're there. Oh yeah, a kid could have done it right. A kid's going to do something like that. My children were grown by then, or up, and had no interest in doing stuff like that. So, and then one time I had a blue jay feather on the 3rd step up going onto my porch, and it was laid exactly in the middle. Again, took a measuring tape, I measured it, it was exactly in the middle. So those are some. I'll show you some footprints and stuff that showed up, handprints on the house, just so you'll know. But in closing, they will follow you home if you seek them out. The Hitchhiker Effect is a real thing. And so please be careful out there, and go hiking, go hunting and fishing, go camping, enjoy the outdoors, but don't go looking for them. Hope you guys have a good weekend, and until next time, y'all take care.